Right now at 5, a judge is considering the evidence laid out in court today against a man accused of sexually assaulting a dog. Plus, hundreds of thousands of kids live in a home with an unlocked and loaded gun. Is your child playing in one of them? Questions you should be asking before any play date this summer.
From your breaking news and weather authority, you're watching News 10 at 5.
We are starting with an update on the case against a man charged with sexually assaulting a dog. Joseph Hattie was in court for his preliminary exam today. News 10's Clayton Cummins has the details.
Today in court, we heard from animal control, police, and the man who made the Craigslist post leading into the investigation into 51-year-old Joseph Hattie. Now, I do want to warn you, this is a very disturbing story. The investigation into Joseph Hattie began with Ingham County Animal Control Officer Jody LeBombard receiving an anonymous tip about a Craigslist post that seemed a little off.
Anyone have a restless dog or horse that needs occupied for a while? I love playing with them. Preferably not fixed, but either way is fine.
The man behind the posting, Max Rapp, told the court he posted out of fantasy.
Did you enjoy reading what the people responded?
For the most part, yes.
Hattie responded to the ad and the two agreed to meet at Hattie's home in Holt. He told the court Hattie then assaulted his basset hound. The AG's office bringing a stuffed animal for reenactment.
We went down to the basement and he grabbed the basset hound out of the spare room.
Did you notice anything unusual about his appearance when you first came in?
Yes, he was visually aroused.
When detectives first questioned Hattie about the encounter, he told them a much different story, even referring to Rapp as Mike.
When he came over, that Mike had come in the front door and only made contact with him at the front door for a brief period of time.
Investigation revealed numerous pornographic website visits in over 40 graphic images. The defense argues the AG's office has no case.
There's no evidence that the man in that photo is my client. There's no evidence that the dog in that photo is Flash.
After over 2 hours in court today, the judge held off his decision on whether or not there's enough evidence to bring the case to circuit court. Hattie remains out on a $5,000 bond and has been suspended from the university.
Clayton, why did the judge decide today to hold back a decision for 2 weeks?
Yeah, well, there's a question as to whether or not Hattie is actually the person in the photo. Hattie has a tattoo on his leg, and it appears the person in the photo does not have a tattoo, and the judge needs some time to look things over.
All right, Clayton Cummins in the newsroom tonight. Thank you. If Hattie is convicted, he faces 15 years in prison. We will keep following this story for you. Investigators are not ruling out the possibility of suicide in regards to the body found in the Grand River yesterday. The body has been identified as a 35-year-old Lansing man. Police say a woman noticed the body in the river at Fulton Park yesterday afternoon. Investigators are currently waiting on autopsy results before releasing the cause of death. Well, it's the first day of summer. Do you know what your children are doing? David Andrews is in studio with some important questions parents should be asking as kids start spending more time outside the home with their friends these next few months. David.
And before you send your child to a friend's house this summer, it's important to know that they are safe. Many parents may hesitate to ask some very simple questions because they don't want to be seen as a pushy helicopter parent who tries to control everything. Think of it like this. You wouldn't drop your child off at a daycare or school without checking it thoroughly, right? The same principle applies here. Number one, will the kids be supervised, and by who? Number two, what kind of activities will they be doing? Playing video games, on the internet, riding bikes near a busy street? Number three, is there a pool or a trampoline in the yard? Parents should also ask if there's a gun in the home. If the answer is yes, ask how it's stored. Guns should be locked up with ammunition stored separately. Here's a startling statistic. Nearly 1.7 million children live in a home with a loaded, unlocked gun. Ask the questions in a friendly and respectful manner. Don't treat it like an interrogation. And be sure to let the other parents know that you would expect them to ask the same questions of you. If you don't feel completely reassured after speaking with the parents, trust your gut instinct. Invite the friend to play at your house instead.
Great advice, David. It's also important for parents to go over basic safety rules with their own children before sending them off to play. For example, don't let anyone invade their personal space or make them feel uncomfortable. And they shouldn't be keeping secrets from you. And remember, kids' personal safety isn't always about stranger danger. It also pertains to people they know. Well, summer starts with some great weather for the kids outside. Let's head over to Andy Provenzano to find out what's in store for tonight. Hi, Andy.
Hi, Ann. Yeah, the cloud cover is starting to come back again after having a lot of sunshine this middle part of the day. Now, you look at radar and you go, well, wait a minute, it's going to rain on us, but this rain is going the opposite direction for now as it rotates around a huge low pressure way out in the central plain states. But its progression east will eventually happen overnight. The cloud cover doing the same. Still some sunshine off to the north. The low is way back out in Kansas City area, so it's been a very wet weather across the southern end of the lake, Milwaukee, Chicago. That's the kind of scattered pattern that comes in here tomorrow and for our Saturday as well. Still 79 in Lansing, 76 in Jackson. And with the cloud cover, we'll be slow to fall tonight, only to about 60 degrees for an overnight low. There's that low spinning here. It's going to take 2 days for it to go to our south. Puts us on the northern edge of it and in the scattered shower pattern, which I'll explain in a few more minutes.
New information on the severe flooding in the western Upper Peninsula. Gogebic County has been added to the state's disaster declaration. Now, officials there declared a local state of emergency on Monday, activating emergency response and recovery plans to help fix roads and other areas damaged by heavy weekend rain. Houghton and Menominee counties were declared disaster zones by the governor earlier this week. The Michigan National Guard has deployed about 70 soldiers along with heavy equipment like bulldozers to help remove debris and repair roads. We also have new information on the massive settlement MSU will have to pay to the women abused by Larry Nassar. A retired judge will be the one to determine how much each of the more than 300 survivors will get. William Bettinelli is a former judge from Sonoma County, California. He now works for a mediation services firm that specializes in dispute resolution. Survivors could get anywhere from $250,000 to $2.5 million. That will depend on a variety of factors, including whether they were a minor when they were assaulted by Nassar and how many times they saw him. The MSU Board of Trustees still has to give final approval of that settlement. We'll let you know if that happens at tomorrow's meeting, which we will be covering. Our coverage of the crisis on campus continues on News 10 at 6. That includes the apology issued today by MSU interim president John Engler, who recently accused Nassar survivor Rachel Denhollander of getting kickbacks. Also at 6, an explainer of the letters exchanged between the special prosecutor investigating MSU and the university's general counsel. And in case you missed it this morning, those letters accuse MSU of withholding documents and impeding the Nassar investigation. First Lady Melania Trump traveled to South Texas this afternoon to get a closer look at the fallout from an immigration policy that separated children from their parents. NBC's Jay Gray has more from her visit and gives us a new look at some of the shelters housing those separated children.
A surprise visit, First Lady Melania Trump in South Texas.
They keep it very organized.
Touring a shelter near the border, talking with agents, counselors, and kids, and asking the same questions as many of the critics of her husband's immigration policy.
I'd like to ask you how I can help to these children to reunite with their families.
More than 2,000 children scattered in shelters across the country. These new images from Health and Human Services taking us inside facilities in Florida and Virginia. And we're getting our first look now at a so-called tender age shelter housing infants and toddlers.
Yeah.
While the president's executive order ends the separation of migrant families trying to enter the country illegally,
It's about keeping families together.
the measure says nothing about reuniting families already torn apart.
There's no plan, there's no transparency.
And those familiar with the process say no easy way to bring children and parents back together.
In terms of logistics, I think it's going to be something that'll be a nightmare for CBP, ORR, and ICE to be able to work out.
And many fear hundreds of kids will be lost in the shuffle.
If the administration doesn't reunify these children very quickly, you're going to have a lot of permanent separations.
Victims, critics say, of the administration's zero-tolerance immigration policy, which remains in effect along the border right now.
Yeah, that's important to remember here. Nothing's really changed as far as enforcement is concerned. Families are still being detained. They're just being held together at this point. Jay Gray, NBC News, Hidalgo, Texas.
Unearthing the secrets of a pivotal event in music history. Why archaeologists are digging at the site where 500,000 people gathered for Woodstock back in 1969. It's a great evening to gather outside for dinner, some golf, baseball, you name it. But Andy Provenzano is tracking some rain on the way. What it means for your weekend plans next on News 10. But first, here's a look at how the roads are looking right now. No major traffic tie-ups or accidents to tell you about. We will keep an eye on it and let you know if anything pops up. Keep it right here on News 10 at 5.
Always tracking, always alerting. News 10. Here's your weather authority, Andy Provenzano.
Well, summer conjured up a very good first day, but summer does come with rain. And here to tell us all about it is our birthday boy, Andy Provenzano. Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. It's being like a bill of goods. Yeah, look how great it is.
Yeah.
And then we got rain coming in, a lot of cloud covers. The clouds have already filtered back for most of us. The rain pattern is, there's two things to know about this. One, further south you are, the better chance you're going to get wet and slightly cooler. And it looks like now no washouts, so we'll make it through it. Yeah, further north less. And if you want to go to some nice weather, go all those vacation spots up north. Yeah, it should be great up there. Here's your satellite, and I'll start with radar here. You see the Doppler radar picking up on some pretty steady rains that have been rotating in a band that stretches from central Ohio, rotates right on through the southwest corner of the state. It's not coming east as far as a direct push, but the low pressure that is spinning way out into western Missouri will eventually come east, so the band will start to come a little closer. But I think a lot of this will start to fall apart after sunset and more of a scattered pattern. But it comes close. It's some showers, and you get to Kalamazoo and the far western sections of us. Can't rule out a sprinkle as the air starts to moisten up, but most of the rain's due in after dark. We're still at 79 degrees, 76 in Jackson, a lot closer to the normals today, that's for sure. But those who've had the rain have been stuck in the 60s. Milwaukee only 60, Chicago 66, and it's been a lousy day there. Steady rains across northern Illinois, southern Wisconsin, back to Iowa. You can almost see with the 60-degree temperatures, that circulation, that pattern, this upper level low. You go north of it, it's gorgeous. You go south of it, it's really hot and humid. This low pressure is what we call a cutoff low. It's just cut off from the normal jet stream, so it's not moving along real fast. And normally in the summer months, they do move quick. So this is going to really take its time to go southeast. I guess if there's anything decent to say, we're on the northern edge of it, so we're not going to get involved in these showers and storms that they're seeing off to the south. Here's your hour by hour. This northeast flow has been able to keep us drier here at the surface, so it's hard for the rain to come into the picture, but it will start popping up in the overnight and then scattered throughout our morning hours as well. Well, the afternoon, it's here, breaks here and there. We've got a lot of festivals. East Lansing's got their Jazz Fest starting Friday into Saturday. We've got the Red Cedar Jubilee in Williamston. You got the Yankee Doodle Days in Grand Ledge. So all of that hinging on how it's going to go. And the showers tend to taper later part of the day. But again, the further south you are going into Saturday, the better chance of getting wet. But there still will be many, many breaks. A lot of cloud cover means temperatures tomorrow struggling to get to 70 north, 60 south. And Saturday's highs by evening should be in the low to mid 70s. So a little cooler weather. And you still can't rule out a shower popping up Sunday. There is a front coming down the state, so there could be a possibility of a shower till about early afternoon. You couldn't ask for a better tool to have in your hand than your phone with downloading the Weather app, the Weather Authority app, WLX. Go to your app store and download it. You'll have the radar. You just click on the button. You can zoom in, zoom out, put it into motion, put the lightning detection on there, anything that wherever you're going, it's got the hour-by-hour forecast, 10-day forecast, and you can highlight what cities that you might be in, and it'll tip you off when heavy rain or lightning is coming your way. That's a great app. For tonight, 59 degrees, mostly cloudy skies, just a few showers late, especially in southern sections. Tomorrow, the same thing. It's going to be a broken record. The further south you are, I-94 southward, you get into some scattered showers more frequently than you will to the north. 65 by noon becomes about a 68 or 69, maybe 70 far north where there'll be a hint of sunshine. And from time to time, the shower might be more than just a shower. It could be a quick downpour as well. Our Saturday's about the same thing. More scattered showers. I'll put in a chance of a rumble of thunder, but this is not a thunderstorm pattern, really. Sunday still has a possibility of a few showers, but the sun will start peeking out more and more through the day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, well, for most of Wednesday looks good before storms move in. On a warm front that gets us warm and muggy for Thursday, we'll end that day with some scattered showers and storms as well. So we're all waiting for summer and going to let us down as we go into Friday and Saturday. But do not change your plans. Open houses, maybe have a tent ready.
And cross your fingers, and most people do get a tent.
It will be widely scattered, so it's just no way of pinpointing who gets it, but be prepared, you might see one.
All right. Thanks, Andy. Actress Jane Fonda will make an appearance in northern Michigan this summer. Fellow Oscar winner Michael Moore announcing today she will be honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award at the Traverse City Film Festival. The festival runs July 31st through August 5th. Fonda has won 2 Oscars and been nominated 5 other times. She also stars in the Netflix sitcom Grace and Frankie. Fonda's most recent film is the comedy Book Club. Archaeologists have descended on the New York farm where Woodstock was once held. The team from Binghamton University launched the first official excavation of the site of the 1969 concert earlier this month. The 5-day dig did not exactly yield a mind-blowing haul, though, just a couple of beer pull tabs and bits of broken bottle glass, but that wasn't the point of this first dig. Organizers were more interested in defining where the original stage was located.
We can use this as a reference point to further define the stage, and people can stand on that and look up at the hill and say, oh, this is where the performers were. Jimi Hendrix stood here and played his guitar at 8:30 in the morning on Monday.
The original stage was covered over and significantly regraded in the 1990s. Information from the dig will help a museum plan interpretive walking routes in time for the Woodstock's 50th anniversary, which is next year. Vaccine shortage. Protection from a painful condition is so popular, it's hard to get. What you need to know just ahead. And we are working on a lot more for you tonight at 6. David Andrews in the newsroom now with a look at just one of the stories you'll see tonight.
And tonight at 6, we have new information on the source of that oil leak in rural Ingham County and its potential threat to the Red Cedar River. Who's at fault? And the latest on the cleanup effort tonight on News 10 at 6.
If you have a news story, let us know about it. Email us at newstips@wilx.com.
Parents are being urged to review every toy and activity they choose for their child now that summer is underway. The consumer group World Against Toys Causing Harm released its list of warm weather toys they say are too dangerous. The group highlighted toys like a water balloon slingshot and lawn darts. More than 2.5 million children are injured in accidents across the country every year. We put a link to the group's list of dangerous toys on our website. Just click on this story on the WILX app. Well, demand is soaring for a new vaccine designed to protect older adults from the painful rash known as shingles. Shingrix was approved by the FDA last fall and became widely available at the beginning of the year. This vaccine is more effective and long-lasting, leading to high demand and waiting lists. The CDC expects the shortages and shipping delays to continue through 2018. Well, there's a new avocado on the market, one that lasts twice as long as what we're used to. Avocado producer Del Rey is spraying its avocados with a special solution made from fats found in the skins and peels of fruits like apples. The natural substance helps trap moisture inside the avocado, keeping it from oxidizing until you cut into it. Right now, you can find the Appeal avocado at Costco stores. Electric skin, a new sensation for people with prosthetics. Next on News 10 at 5. People with prosthetic hands may soon know what it feels like to touch something. Take a look at this. Researchers at Johns Hopkins have developed an electronic skin called eDermis. When layered on top of prosthetic hands, it restores the sensation of touch through the fingertips by stimulating nerves through the skin. The sensors can also detect pain. An amazing rescue in California's Santa Cruz Mountains last night. Take a look at this. A vehicle went off a cliff and fell about 30 feet. The nose of the Ford Mustang ended up wedged in a tree. Firefighters had to strap the car to the tree before they were able to remove the driver using the jaws of life. Rescuers say if the tree had not been there, the vehicle would have gone down the embankment and probably would have been impossible to find. Finally, at 5, the most valuable car ever to be offered for public sale is being auctioned off later this summer. Take a look at this sleek ride. The 1962 Ferrari 250 GTO is expected to raise more than $45 million. $45 million during RM Sotheby's Monterey auction at the Pebble Beach Concours d'Elegance in late August. Now, if all goes as planned, this car will break the previous auction record, another 250 GTO, which sold in 2014 for more than $36 million for a car.
Just out of my range.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd go for it.
I mean, I'd get it for you for your birthday.
Well, that'd be nice.
Yeah. All right.
Got $40 million to throw in?
Yeah, I just need a bigger paycheck.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, that's all the time we have at 5. We'll see you back here for News 10 at 6.